And today we have one of my dream guests. He's a producer, an engineer, and the records he made created a genre that essentially even created subgenres that are still coming out today. He's one of my favorite humans on the planet, also one of my heroes, and it's a trip that has evolved to now I could call him my friend. I can't wait for you to listen to this, watch this. So without further ado, please welcome Ross Robinson.
It's an infinite quest.
It never stops, huh? It never stops.
Mm-mm.
Especially like in your case. Well, welcome back home.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the first time you were here, you met the whole band, and it was like well over 5 years ago.
Was it? Oh my god,
dude! Again, like we don't even remember the year that record happened. 2016, I want to say.
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about. I had my back surgery. It was that year.
Yeah, you had just had your back surgery.
Fuck. So everything I did, I have kind of no memory of that whole year.
Really?
Yeah. It was that. So I broke my back during SLIPKNOT, and then pained and don't remember making Iowa
Oh my god!
because the pain was so ruthless. I remember snippets, but not like the whole.
Yeah.
And then having that surgery, like decade and a half later,
like
was
15 years later.
Dude, it was so gnarly. I thought I was feeling normal, but when I think about what happened, it didn't even happen. So, did it happen?
Here we go. We're in.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah. It happened in that, we have a forever friendship,
Yeah.
personal, which is rather than a friendship through records,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy for not necessarily knowing you personally for that long, but I feel like I've known you for a long time, and actually knowing you personally now, it has been like a trip. And just that short amount of time, which I guess we could comfortably say 5 years, is you just had your back surgery, and seeing you kind of change too. Like, because you've dealt with that pain for like a long period of time.
Oh, that was ruthless. Yeah.
And like you were still dealing with not being in pain, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it was still lingering and rolling. And actually, I didn't sleep well last night, but that's fine. But normally, like, it was sleepless nights with nerve pain and stuff like that. And I figured out how to hone it down and get that happening, which is, strict diet, no Del Taco.
Man.
Yeah, so I'm rolling like mostly like 99% raw, So yeah, and the inflammation is gone, and the clarity is so much better, Yeah, it's like, oh man, I could have gone raw so many years ago.
I know.
Yeah, but just a little, essence of, you've seen my diet and everything. It's pretty solid and tight, and
except for a few cookies here and there.
Yeah, like vegan cookies.
The vegan cookies.
Some burritos. Vegan or chips.
Yeah.
And those little things, like made a knife stab my body. It's weird. So You know,
Wow.
with so many motocross injuries. We're not even talking about music right
No,
now.
let's go, dude. Let's go straight.
But
Motocross, raw. Let's go.
I know,
Woo woo
right?
salads. Come on, I'm in.
I know. It is. It is all related. It's all related. You
It
know.
is.
Yeah, I find like if I'm in a physical or an emotional distress, that I do push an artist that I'm working with even further to give me that opiate release. Like something happens when the amazing performance kicks.
Yeah.
It's like just painless and free, and it's been a trip to discover, you know, like a great performance that heals actually permeates outside through the actual recording as well, you know. So like this girl dumped me, you know, during at the drive-in, and oh boy,
Yeah.
those guys had to pay.
Oh fuck.
I needed relief, like, oh my god, give me more. Ah, you know,
Yeah.
like how can this be happening to me, you know? But you know, using those internal, this is the resolve, not the thing outside of you. But you know, when you do this and reflect the passion outside of you, then people react back with that high bar level of passion, you know. So
Yeah.
in essence, anything bad that's ever happened or negative has always been the positive, more so than everything going well.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to expand and evolve and become. We're not here to have like a happy life experience and then roll. You know, what point is that? Where you know, where's the juice?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, and also to the brutality that happens when, oh my God, when you're vulnerable and revealing with all of the imperfections, and the beauty of you is exposed and people don't like it,
Yeah.
from suicide.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Like, this doesn't sound familiar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You taught us a whole new level of being vulnerable. You know that we were starving for, which is why us, like many other bands to this day, actually seek you out.
Mhm.
You know, where it's like, you know, we're very aware of that feeling. We're starving for something else and new, and
Yeah, deep authenticity.
absolutely.
Yeah, it gets really caught up when we're. Yeah, go ahead. I love what you're saying. It's
No,
cool.
oh no, and from the time that I really, it's like, wow, I'm in the same room as Ross, and we're actually
Mhm.
talking, and we're creating music, and as that short time has gone on, one of your biggest strengths, you are a mirror, where it's
Mhm.
like it feels like wherever a certain person is in their life, like you kind of just shoot that back at them,
Mm.
for better or for worse,
Oh yeah.
you know, and so especially then we were like late 20s, which is a very, you know, you can remember your late 20s, it's a very confusing age where you're actually becoming a, I guess, adult, you know. It's a
Yeah,
very
caterpillar becomes the butterfly.
uh, absolutely, and we were
Yeah.
all becoming butterflies, as cheesy as that sounds, in your home at the same
Yep.
time, and,
Yep.
and you're well aware how, you know, how much chaos it can be to have five dudes with their own lives, and
Mm.
just, man, we had no idea what what we had coming, and you were just again like your strength is a mirror, so it really showed us ourselves.
Mm.
You know, whether we wanted to see it or not.
Mm.
Like, you know, when you see something, you can't unsee it. When you feel something, you can't unfeel it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and to this day, I was just thinking about this last night, where the things that you've done for us, definitely me personally, from that short time period, especially those 2 months of living with you, and the things that you said to me and the band are still, it's still doing its work
Wow.
and still clicking. You know, I got that from you, and I'm very lucky that I also had a couple conversations with James, and things that you guys say will it'll be said, and you hear it and you listen to it. Like, oh, wow, okay, I'll do that. But as the years go on, that's when they take their true meaning.
Right, right, right.
You know, and things that you've done, even as far as like a small encouragement, has
Mm.
done wonders for me personally. That like we're all we're human, and there's times we're very insecure, and I have a lot of those moments. But then I have that one golden nugget, dude, that I could take from. I remember that one time Ross said that to you, and it just fucking
Right on.
everything's great.
It
It's
is.
still doing its work.
Yeah.
And it was very important, especially for that time, for us to get any kind of like motivation. And you did that for us.
Yeah. It's a heavy one because I don't think I've seen, like, Eddie was so just to the core vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that alone is, to me, our experience together is the platinum. That vulnerability and that letting go, and no matter what, like the courage was
Yeah.
way over the top. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so courageous.
Yeah. Definitely very proud of Eddie. And you really
Yeah.
it took you, uh, getting that out of him. It's unfortunate you can't bring people in the room to see what was going on, but it was fucking heavy, dude. And I think the one
Well, the
got
thing,
the most
go ahead.
was Eddie. Like, damn,
Right.
he's going into the core. Once he sees you going, saying things that no one else will say,
Mm.
so it gets us all going. It made him like, oh shit. Then it makes us go, oh shit. We need to like,
Yeah.
like this isn't our record anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta let what needs to happen, and that's it. And whatever the consequences are, it does not matter.
I remember sitting on the front lawn with you guys, and you're just going, man, we wrote songs that people aren't, we don't know what they're gonna think.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh my, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The becoming is definitely an internal experience and an internal job, and it's not anything about what happens on the outside of us ever. It doesn't. It's such an illusion and a pretend world that we live in. It's all built on what people think from what they identified with in the past. So basically, like, if you change my identity of what I know I am through your art, then fuck you,
Yeah.
My identity is getting crushed. Oh my God. Yeah. So in essence, music is a music is about exploration and growth, and it does everything for me. Blows my freaking head off every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so lucky to get to do this.
Blessed, dude. So lucky.
Yeah.
It's truly mind blowing that when we're both still here doing what we do.
living off of what we love, yeah, is the most fortunate possible experience, for a Beavis.
I know that's where that's down to our core. That's what we're at. And you showed us that. It's like, well, we're not as cool as we thought we were.
Nobody is.
No, that's very true.
It's all a mask.
That's very true.
Yeah, the most uncool thing is the coolest thing.
Yeah, dude. Even something as simple as today, I want to be cool in front of our boss, so I'm not gonna wear a Korn shirt. But then I'm not being myself. So I took out the mask. I took out the Korn shirt. I'm me.
Let's let it rip. Just like the first day we met.
Oh yeah, I wear the same shirt.
Yep. It's all brand new still.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's music that you help create. Like I truly hold dear to my heart, and I literally wear it close to my heart. It's just I can't help it, dude. It's there. I mean, it's on literally on my chest, And do you ever think back when when you first started working in like a studio? Did you ever foresee what the fuck was about to happen a year from there and 10 years and
or ever?
Ever.
It never really hit me. I mean, there was a moment where it was just like insanity overwhelming. Like if I would go to a show, it was bizarre, but in the real world, like, people don't know who the producer is, or, and I think when you're in a cave digging in, just extracting soul and grit and beauty and ugliness and that excellent the ghost.
The ghost. Forever chasing the ghost.
Yeah. Capturing the ghost and then it's held. It's not of a what is this going to do to the world sort of feeling. You don't realize or care. It's not your concern. We experienced it together where, we're just pulsing and slamming for us. Simply, that's it.
That's it.
And there's no outside world involved, especially when you're really, really there, and awake.
And you were definitely there and awake.
Yeah, because
Cool,
the
so-
music was, but yeah, like I wish I remembered that year a little better.
Yeah, same. The same. All I have these little nuggets from you.
The feeling tone stays.
It does. You're right. You're right.
It never goes away.
It's true.
And today is starting all over again, as it was each day when we'd wake up. It's like you start now and then the past it's non-existent. There's nothing there. You just show up and hear a craving and a voice saying do this or do that and follow that without going, what did I do? Or boy, I better like make people come and and love what I do. It's that is so not that contemplation is just it's a nightmare, for people that live that way. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a hit. I don't understand it. It doesn't work in me somehow. Does that make any sense?
It does.
Yeah.
And because that's how you truly view it and that's how you live, like the opposite happens. Is that you actually bring it in. Right?
Yeah, I think the real part of what we are is humming. It's a voice behind the voice behind the voice, that when you do something just raw and authentic and revealing, it, that it in you goes, finally, and there's a release and a relief, like, oh, reality, truth, that thing that we really are comes alive through the music. It's like, oh, they understand,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
from the beginning, you guys with Mitch, it was just like that, without there. That's the amazing thing, when you're young and you're not, there's nothing to lose, there's only everything to give, just automatically, and you're slamming, like the world just goes, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because people don't live like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just don't.
You're right.
Yeah.
Just going full tilt with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Literally with no concern with even like your physical life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that has, cost the life of our friends, because going, you just go full tilt, you just go.
Yeah. Well, it's
know?
confusing when you're that powerful and you don't know what it is. It's really confusing, and your life becomes about maybe, that expression is so big, then when you're not doing it, there's something so, like, off. It's scary. It's so brutal, and people don't have, like, a public school should teach you how to deal with any kind of success.
Yeah.
Any kind of, like, applause, or love, basically it's when you give a love at that level through your expression, it and your survival skills were built off of protection. Public schools are brutal. Driving on the freeway is brutal. Everybody's defensive and gnarly and aggressive, and so our skill level to survive is not built on what happens when that happens with suicide in the beginning, where it's just like, or the Korn guys. Dude, it was like that before we made the record, and I used to, like, literally pray that those guys, like, one of them wouldn't die. I was just like, oh God, I was so terrified for their lives. I don't know why. Like, it was freaking me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it just a feeling, or maybe kind of like
it was so, like, for me, it was, I would consider myself another band member, and that's all I did for, like, 2.5 years before the record, and just that one band, and every practice, every show, everything. But there was this thing where when it was starting to get confusing, and people were like on them, wanting and needing, and friends, and whoever was around him, and I went, backed way off, just like, and just let it go totally. And but during that time, I was just like, oh my God, please keep him safe. Totally.
And at that point, like, the first record was probably already out.
Mm-mm.
No, it wasn't even out yet, and there was already some level of confusion and outsiders coming in.
It was out of control, dude. Like,
What the fuck?
every street sign in Huntington had a Korn sticker on it.
Oh my God.
It was out of control. It was more off the hook than the first 2 years after the record, like their home, Huntington area, and it was
Yeah.
every show, the insanity of that environment. I was like super, super straight edge and living on wheatgrass and sprouts.
Yeah.
I was that guy,
Yeah.
and somehow everything worked together.
Yeah.
And but we all, yeah. Anyway, that was that.
Yeah. Did you feel like it was just like a buzz and like you just felt something? Like
Well,
what's going on or something's happening?
it was it didn't match anything in the world. It was too goth and femme, Jonathan's flamboyancy, and then the music was all dark and heavy. It was not poppy, it was Nirvana was out, Chili Peppers was out, like
Yeah.
they were really blowing up at the time. And when I remember when the album came out, the only thing they can compare John's voice to was Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what?
Fucking weird.
But see, that's identity.
Yeah.
People need to attach
Absolutely.
something, but that feeling was so intense coming off their music and their performances was like it was so heavy in an internal way that you couldn't deny it. It was there.
It was there.
Yeah, special and forever. Like it'll never go away. Yeah.
Wow. What? I'm trying not to freak out. I mean, what was it like? You were in those rooms, like you were in the room when they were jamming, even before the first record. Like, what was that like? We literally
Fun.
outside. If you're outside that room, you have no idea. Like, what was that like? What was going on?
Just fun.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, good old times.
Wow.
Laughing, spitting sunflower seeds all over the place. They had their own language.
Yeah.
We all talk with, inside jokes, and
Yeah.
it was just this unique experience that I don't think anybody, even them, can't relive. It was so special. It was really special because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics, everybody just believed in the lyrics so much. Like all the methods that I use, today were just being just kind of naturally formed in how those guys were and how
Yeah.
what they would react to when we were together and
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So
like John would say something, and then in like the room, you guys would be like, "Whoa."
yeah. The lyrics were all dark and wild and revealing, They were truly vulnerable in him when everybody else in the world were singing about, some fantasy of something,
Yeah.
hiding behind this is what the title is, but you're not going to know what it really means. And, no bands knew what most lyrics were about, you know, and
Wow.
everybody knew what every single sentence and syllable meant. And it came out through the players. Yeah. As a pulsing one, they were one, I can't believe I got to be there for it and be part of it. Like it changed my life and a lot of people's lives in such a good way.
In such a great way.
Yeah.
And it's still going.
I can't believe it. They work hard. It's no joke.
Everything that you have and everything that all those guys have has been 100% absolutely earned through everything that.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. There's no shortcut
No,
with that.
absolutely not. And you hear that and you see that,
Yeah.
especially when I've been blessed and lucky enough to meet you and those guys, and like there's no it's no secret why you guys are who you are and where you're at, just
Mm.
full on,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. So you were already like, so about 2.5 years before the first record, you guys were already hanging out and
I recorded Fear Factory
yeah.
in Blackie Lawless's studio. I was living on the floor in his recording studio,
Wow.
but before that, I was living on a practice room floor of my band.
Yeah.
And I had a gym membership that was literally $30 a year because I joined the. It was called Holiday Spa, which turned into Ballet's in Hollywood when they were building it,
Whoa.
and they needed, you know, people to sign up, and there was this crazy membership thing. So I was able to live in these weird places, go to the gym and work out and shower and do all that stuff, and
Wow.
then music, constant music, yeah. And
Yeah.
so I had a friend that I recorded, and his parents grew weed, and he grew up as a kid cultivating in Humboldt, and he was this metal guitar player, dude, and he had this band, and I did a little couple songs in Blackie's studio,
Yeah.
and my band broke up, and then yeah, Dave McClain joined Sacred Reich, and
That's right.
yeah, and right before that, Dave and I were playing with these two singers. One was from my old band Detente,
Yeah.
and this other guy was this industrial dude, and the music was going to be something ridiculous. It had like a feeling of like sort of like the earliest Nine Inch Nails ish, but in Ministry, but it was like Chains Addiction, nothing shocking a little bit,
Yeah.
and Pornography, Cure,
Yeah.
with two insane singers, like to the core, like that core thing
Yeah.
that I'm into.
Yeah.
Was I learned from Dawn Crosby, the singer from Detente. She showed me Sisters of Mercy and like a bunch of like really cool
Whoa.
gothy things, and I was just a straight metal kid before that, and
Yeah.
she would go, so and so has cancer, and listen to this song, and it's like, oh my God, he's dying. Oh, and I was like, yeah. And then
You would say that.
oh God, it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and just swim in it like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then so then we had this like crazy industrial dude that was like with a echoplex delay like Mike Patton started doing later on,
Yeah.
and then Dawn was just these dark witchy lyrics just about rape and like gnarly shit that happened to her, and I'm just like, oh my God. Oh, and we had one practice cassette, and it disappeared. I don't know where I lost it or anything,
Oh,
but
no.
it was like it had a little bit of what you hear in Korn.
Really?
Yeah, the dissonant, like the bees sounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in that.
Whoa.
Yeah, with the beats, and I mean, those guys are creative gods, you know, and I was so lucky to be there. But I was able to bring this thing to it. And
Yeah.
when John showed up to the first rehearsal to audition, he was wearing like this Robert Smith makeup. I was like, oh my God, like I love him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was wearing these industrial monkey boots and like
So
he was
sick.
just so sweet and just
Man.
God. And that we didn't even hear him sing that day. He was just freaking out so hard during a song and wigging out and ended up on the floor just crying in rehearsal. Like first song, I'm just like chills all over my body. We could not even tell if he can sing or not. It was so fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all of that culminating or whatever the word is, just coming together in these impossible different, you know, John didn't like what those guys did, you know, that wasn't like his world, you know, he was like Duran Duran and,
Yeah.
you know, really cool new wavy stuff. And I was like, oh my God. and those guys were into Faith No More and like, you know, I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. And David's
Man.
beat and groove was just, oh my
jeez,
God.
dude.
Everything was just so perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, all meant to be. All of our worlds colliding, you know, creating and
I know.
yeah, and supporting that like forbidden zone, you know, to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even more forbidden now, it seems like.
Mm.
You know?
I know.
It's wow. Like that's always tripped me out. Like what are the chances of like 6 guys being in the
Yeah.
same room together that are just perfect for each other?
Yeah.
What are the odds of that, and how does that happen?
You know what I love about talking about this is, you know, it's coming up because I keep looking at the shirt and seeing it.
Yeah.
I remember James going, like, I want the album cover to be like, you know, maybe a little girl like looking up at, she can't see him and she's going like that trying to see who it is and yeah, we're like, oh my God. And there it is.
And then
forever.
and then you have the shadow.
Yeah.
It's like there's just something like there's something just off-putting about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's, you know, it came from him for a reason.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, you know it's real, you know.
Totally.
Bakersfield, you know, it's Burley.
Yeah. You got Barstow and Bakersfield in the same room. I mean, who?
Desert.
Yeah, pure deserts. Got 2 deserts
Yep.
fucking colliding.
Yep.
This everything that you guys did, literally 100% everything to the absolute maximum was infused with being authentic and pure,
Yep.
and like therefore like the music just kind of comes out like, which, you know, maybe not every but probably most producers, engineers, bands kind of secretly want. You want something that kind of stops time and transcends it, and
That's it.
and
Yeah.
and that's what you guys did.
Well, it's a timeless subject, you know, like it's a schematic for the perfect situation, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't have to be like dramatic and treacherous, you know, it could be any subject, but everybody in a band, it helps so much if everybody believes in what they're doing for the expression, you know, if the lyric is known and it's believed in and you truly are like really living it and trust that it's the message that you're all putting together, pulsing together, like the instruments are just as communicative as a lyric, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you're all on that same page, you know, the count off of the sticks, like you remember, it's like,
Yeah.
I want to feel the chill off the count.
Absolutely.
If I don't feel the chill, you're not even playing it, and it's all of you. So it's just like,
That's true.
that's it. The song's complete, just counting off the song, you know, because
Song's done.
the expression is just permeating, you know, the air of the room, you know, the breath and the,
Yeah.
you know, because this is all temporary. That thing that comes through us is forever, if it's authentic. If we're hiding behind some sort of fake reality and wanting something outside of that expression, then it comes and it goes and it doesn't really last. And you know, I've that's you know, I've said this so many times, and to the band is when I got that Sepultura gig in the beginning for the Roots record. I think I got it because, well, you know, I said, I want to build a pyramid. I want to build something that will last forever, you know, and never go away. You know, pyramids, they built it for God.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever their God was, it's there and it's just as powerful. Like it brings people to their knees daily for
Quite
the rest
literally.
of humanity.
Yeah.
You know, till the world disintegrates.
Yeah.
They're going to be there.
Yeah.
So why not make a record that does the same thing? Or try.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a magic of just trying that.
Intention. And
Intention.
you know, that all these like psychotic talks about lyrics and stuff that we do before tracking is like keeping the attention on the intention. That's the theme always.
Yeah.
Attention on the intention. So you're deeply slamming for a purpose, you know. And
Yeah.
you could play, you know, tight and correct and whatever it is, you know. It's not necessarily my favorite, but you can do either, you know, with that attention
Yeah.
on what you're doing. Yeah.
Wow. At what point, where did that really come in as far as you and the guys were like? Because I mean, obviously you guys were already hanging around like, you know, 2.5 years or 3 years, and like, at what point did you really go full tilt and you started going in?
I think the moment I opened a LA Weekly, and after the Wasp record, before I met him, I opened it and it said, at this club, Coconut Teaser, Creep, formerly LAPD. And I was like, oh, my band played with LAPD. And I really liked that guitar player. He was so cool. He was such a good dude, you know. We hung out for like, you know, 10 minutes sitting on the stage, like just,
Wow.
yeah, just this guy. And he always was in me for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was James. And I went to the show, and my friend had just been held up by some Crips that sold weed.
Oh. Yeah.
That I recorded.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's. He goes, do you know any bands? Maybe we can like try to start a record company or something. And I'm like, I'll find one. And first one we did was Fear Factory, and that, you know,
Yeah.
that didn't work out. And even though we recorded, they took it and used it as a demo and cut us out. And so I learned that lesson. And then going to that Coconut Teaser gig, it was like opening magazine the night that that record was done, the Black Eel record, Wasp, and going to that show with nothing to do in my life. It was just empty space. Seeing them play, and like in the first song, like I felt this killer beat and the riff, and there's that guitar player, and you know Reggie's so incredibly great on bass, and so it was the
100%.
three of those guys with this singer. Brian wasn't in the band. He was probably there that night, just hanging out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He was always with us, hanging out. Before he was in the band, but oh man, Fieldy broke a string, and it took him like 20 minutes to change it. And there was nobody in the club except me and their girlfriends.
Sick.
And the singer was like a Alice in Chains wannabe dude.
Yeah.
Came to he was from Riverside, and I met all these people from Riverside from him.
Oh, wow.
You know, that is a whole other universe of
Yeah.
great friends, you know? And
Wow.
and so yeah, like it's so cool like to be in your hood and like, oh, I have some cool friends here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Welcome back home.
yeah, totally.
It's crazy, man.
Oh my God. So God, this story, man. So the singer was talking shit on the band, like, oh, this fucker, to his
Yeah.
girlfriend, and maybe he had a friend or two from Riverside, so they were just barely together, you know. And,
Yeah.
And he was a decent singer, but then they started playing again, and I no crowd, and I was just like, oh my God, the beat. It was just something so cool. So I went up to David afterwards and said, hey dude, here's my number. Call me up. I have somebody that would totally want to pay for us to go in and record, you know, a demo.
Whoa.
And I said, I'll get you signed.
Hell yeah. That's what's
I'll get
up.
you signed 100%. And then there was like a whole bunch of other weird things happened, and
Yeah.
you know, I went out with this girl whose best friend worked at A&M Records, and then we
Wow.
got a demo deal to record some more songs is with that singer, and those tracks are from the ones we gave Jonathan to learn when that singer was kicked out of the band. And yeah, so there's all these little impossible steps, but I would have like every A&R guy coming to see him play every time they play, and like book shows in Hollywood, and
Sick.
just have a list of people and check off who showed up.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like I'm gonna get you signed. And my whole life became Creep. And
Yeah.
then John came in, it was Korn. And I later found out like Korn with a K was on Hee Haw, which is a Buck Owens owned show, who's from Bakersfield. He's like the big country artist, Buck Owens.
Yeah.
And and there was like a skit on Hee Haw, KORN radio, and there's like a microphone with Korn written on it. It was so I found out like decades later, I'm like, oh my God, of course.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Like these deep subconscious things. Right?
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah. So
whoa.
yeah, all these weird,
That's-
organic, and also too, nothing was like ripping off of any other band of a heavy genre. You know, it was all organic and creating its own unique thing, you know, as far as,
Yeah.
you know, there's influences, but they weren't what they sounded like at all,
Yeah.
you know? So,
I know, especially today, how that's so rare. You know, bands taking that's not their genre and then
Yeah.
kind of making it their own.
it feels
You know?
it feels like all of this subject matter could help, you know, bands, you know, go into, you know, your unique situation, and
Yeah.
there's doesn't seem to be a fraction of what there were as far as bands, the number of bands. People are just so,
Yeah.
you know,
True.
depending on themselves to do their music. And I think something's lost in that,
Yeah.
it'll be however they do it, but then you lose that impossible thing that happens with a group,
Yeah.
something like they say in Indian prayers and stuff, where more than one people praying, something else happens. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's human with this invisible life force coming through us, and when we collide, babies are being made.
Yeah.
And you have like 5 people colliding, and there's an influence and a tension. It's hard, it's difficult, and you create. It's difficult, and when it works, it's powerful. It's life altering.
Light bulb train.
Yeah.
Yeah. You brought up a few words I really want to unpack there. So, yeah, being in a room with 2 to 5, 6 people, men, guys, is very difficult. It is. What was that like for you? Was there like how was what was the tension like? How difficult was it? Like when you guys were like throwing around riffs, writing songs, like the competitive factor, all that stuff. This is stuff I don't even know.
Oh, it was really smooth and simple and pretty easy when we were all together. And I had a rule, and anybody that raises their hand, everybody has to stop making noise and let that person speak. So
Oh,
it allowed everybody to have a voice. And
wow.
and being that I was in the room without an instrument, it was like ideas were being heard and not ignored. And also, like, there's this thing where if there's somebody's messing up in a change or a part or something, or it's like rough, instead of plowing through it every time, the guy that notices it stops, and everybody stops, and we work on that part.
Huh.
It's just order, in
Wow.
simple order. And when everybody has that respect of the hand, then and it's creativity. It flows really well. It's
Whoa.
crazy. Yeah. And also too, those guys are like you. The riffs just fly out of them. Like you have this special gift of riff that is so rare. It just doesn't happen for people. And yeah, so we had that going. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
But those are the simple ideas like that are the most difficult, if not impossible, to come up with. Something so simple. Hey, let's someone raise their hand
Yeah,
and let the creative idea and
yeah.
be heard.
Usually there's a quiet guy in the room with an instrument, and they maybe, musicians are infamously insecure, so like
Yeah.
the voice will be,
Yeah.
and just not say anything and get through practice so you can get the fuck out.
Been
you
there
know?
for a whole career. Yeah.
Yep. so,
Yeah. Definitely.
so with this, that confidence, because everybody's allowed, and then I think having that person in the room for us was, you know, really helpful in the progress to speed up, you know. Yeah.
Dude, something so simple has little that just blew my mind.
Right
Hey,
on.
wow. Yeah, someone just raise your hand. And the guys, they're also an idea like that is definitely work for all you because without trying, you all built trust with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also a whole other thing that's hard to do with
Yeah.
with other guys. Build that full on trust,
Yeah.
and trust each other, then trust what comes out.
Yeah. And also too, with the hand is like the rule is and was still is going forward that no matter how stupid, if the voice is saying it, it'll reflect out and be really dumb. But we need that really, really awful idea to infuse inspiration and, oh my God, wait. Somebody else will have that. And then somebody else will go, wait, oh my God. And then, that thing starts happening because
Oh my
the
god!
terrible idea was said first, and so
Wow.
every idea is a diamond. Yeah.
Every idea is a diamond. That's something that we
Yeah.
should all take away from this. No, you're right. Sometimes like the bad idea will create something else, and then like that, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like, you're bouncing off ideas that spawned from like this.
Awful idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so so was it really awful? Right?
Right.
Yeah. It's like
There's
yeah,
our ego and our insecurity says, oh, I can't say this. People are gonna tease me or
that's
like
true. That's
rip
true.
me apart or roll their eyes and think I'm stupid and
Yeah.
and that's our survival skill again. Our survival as kids. We don't want to say something that gets attention.
Yeah.
Like I
Very
got to
true.
put on this awful fake face and blend in, and that not blending in a creative environment is everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to blend in. You're creating. You're not repeating, something that's been.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna listen to my own episode over and over again. There's so much to like unpack there, man. It's great, and a big reason why I wanted you here was younger bands need to hear these things. There's so much that bands haven't even experienced jamming in a room together, writing
Yeah.
songs, man. It's
Yeah.
just this is getting out of hand. I mean, I might Ross would be perfect to like, it's like this.
Throw a rope out there.
Yeah,
Come on, bands.
yeah. There's like a figure out. There's like a different way to do things.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
it's really important. And even me, I'm still learning. Still.
Well, hopefully you'll never stop. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I learned something every single day, and it hits me to my freaking core. Like
Yeah.
that's a great thing about COVID is the inner journey has been constant, just long mountain bike rides and contemplating and working out issues with self and others and
Mhm.
untangling knots and going, oh my God, realizing and realizing and realizing, there's been a lot of really cool work and I think everybody's been doing it in their own way with
Mhm.
downtime and
Yep.
rather than scramble to be busy for the sake of being busy, it's like for me I use this time to go in, go in, rather than, oh my God, I need to be working,
It's true.
Yeah,
That's very true.
I work, and working is way easier than sitting with yourself and listening to your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And without a clean filter here,
Hmm.
without this being clean, everything out here isn't going to be clean. There'll be You know, just little things all day long that are just not clean, you know, and the cleaner you are in your filter, the more uh, output, quality output will happen. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What are some knots you've been untying throughout this past year?
Um, I guess, you know, so sense of anything outside of me happening at all, being a world outside of my senses, being real. So I can look at this cup and see the G, and I think, oh, fucking Garza's cup. That's so cool. And then I have a crazy story behind what Garza means, what the cup means, why you did the cup. And your experience of that is completely different definition. You probably don't even notice it. It's just something you did and you had to feel, you know, whatever your story
Yeah.
is not my story. So we're in completely two different worlds. So this cup in my world doesn't exist for you in your world. It doesn't
Whoa.
exist for you in your world. So I mean,
That's a good one.
I've been getting way into that, like, you know, and then all of a sudden, like, need for this or that to happen is just disappearing, you know, or this should be a certain way or that should be a certain way. It disappears as okay, it should be, or do I look at it the way it is? Chair, black, you know. Am I going to argue with that? It should be brown. You
Yeah.
know, and my should like completely disregards the authenticity of what it's giving and what it's supposed to do, and I'm not allowing it to have its own life.
Huh.
I'm judging it and putting it into what, forcing it into my manipulated vision of what brown chair, you know, or
Yeah.
turning it into a person. You know, there's so many things that like that that oh, you said this or you did that or you shouldn't have, or you know, all of these things with another person that we do, and we have these rubs, and I'm not allowing you to be you whole and complete as however you want to be. I'm constantly manipulating you in what my world believes you should be. In my story of what Garza is, it's so fucking limited, you know? And then, you know, we're friends, so you put on the friend face, and you know, and we get along, but
Yeah.
is there a thought or something going on inside that needs to be more authentic in our presence, you know? Or
Huh.
is there like a friendship face, you know? And it just goes so deep into wanting you, just like with the music, wanting the mistakes to happen, because
Yeah.
that's where, to me, God exists in the mistake, you know?
I believe that.
Yeah, and that chill factor happens, you know,
Yeah.
the allowing, you know, especially as a record producer, allowing the artist to be who and what the hell they are now, today, not what I perceive you to be, which was a big mistake on Korn 3.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it to be so bad, you know, like the dudes and the fun and the craziness and rah, 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 you know,
Yeah.
and there's a different drummer. Brian's not in the band, you know. John's going through crazy stuff with his wife, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm not allowing my picture of what I think it should be, you know, and what happened, rah, you know, and I'm off because I'm a
Yeah.
fucking manipulator, which doesn't give them the allowance to be who they are today, you know. And so it was a struggle, you know. And God, if I'd known today after this work, you know, what I didn't know then, it would be a much different record.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one we made early on that I wanted probably would have
Yeah.
happened in its own version, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was like that with The Cure too. Like I wanted it to be pornography.
Wow.
The Cure, you're the Cure. My vision of what I think it should be
Yeah.
just completely, you know, they were open. Everybody was open, you know, to having me lead this vision, but it was
Yeah.
limited.
Limited.
Yeah, limited.
Wow.
So cleaned the filter so I can allow myself to be more for you. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I learned this year.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's humbling as fuck. It's so humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very humbling.
yeah.
Wow. I had something similar happen where I realized I have a massive ego, and that took sitting down for a while. And you're right. The word humbling is like it just washes. It's like a bolt of lightning at first when you have that like realization. You're like, oh my gosh, and then you're just humbled. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my, I can't believe this is me. And how now you got to clean the filter. You
Yep.
know? And I'm sure and then that's a whole other process that's extremely difficult to do. At least I think it is.
Oh yeah.
It's a daily maintenance
That's it.
of cleaning your filter.
That's the best line of all day today. It's a daily maintenance.
Yeah.
That's the most crucial, proper line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Thanks.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Every day, or the day before. Sometimes you'll feel like, oh, I feel pretty good, and like when you feel pretty good, the next day you feel like shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know anything ever. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's gonna happen. A year from now. And that was a big learning experience. Like, which I told the band, to their faces is like, I don't have any answers. I have no idea what's going to happen next month, or I could have a vision and kind of share, hey, maybe this is going to work, this is not going to work, but we have no idea what this idea is going to do, or we have no control of what's going on. And
Now turn that into like ecstasy, not knowing. Where before you could not know and it's terrifying. But if you go into, oh my God, I can't wait for the nothing. And just be like, oh, this is going to be the best. So you don't know and just flip it into enthusiastic, into not knowing. That's the trick. Because then everything you do is just like an explosion of exploring, and it's not supposed to feel good all the time. That's a thing that our society is all about, a microwave oven consciousness where you want it now and you're not supposed to feel bad, and and we've got phones to shut down those bad feelings, and we can feel good hating somebody else because look how stupid they are here, with politics or whatever. And then addiction to everything, so we don't feel. And that's Walking Dead that's living with two corpses strapped to your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not letting feelings happen, you know.
You're right. That's a big one. It feels like people around us aren't feeling or allowing themselves to feel.
Yeah,
You know, because it's not. You know, when you sit down for a little bit, like, oh shit, I'm having a bad day. Didn't even know, and it's just letting those feelings have their way. It's a hard thing. Like purposely sit down. And, all right, here, this is happening right now. Yeah, I could feel like you could feel a panic attack coming or something.
Yep.
Because you're so. Maybe it has something to do with like you spend so much time not feeling.
yep.
When you finally sit down and feel like you have these like panic attacks, and
It's gonna come up no matter what.
No matter what, you can't stop it.
Except
No.
you can do things like dirt biking, drugs,
Yeah,
slamming in on a tour. You know,
Yeah.
You know, all those busy things. You know,
Totally.
that are life threatening, basically.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
that gets you into the no feel zone.
Yeah,
But yeah, this year is really, really. I think it's the best year, one of the best years of my life. And
Ross, same.
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty feeling that and saying that? Because I kind of do. Where like, I mean, this year obviously it's been tragic for some people, but for me and as you just said, for you as well, like it's been, I mean, a blessing, and it's been like one, if not the best year of my life personally. Do you feel like some guilt or
It's not necessarily because things went my way. You know, like I was telling you about house construction, it's just
yeah,
brutal. And,
yeah,
you know, situation isn't like, from an outside point of view, like what a multi-platinum record producer would supposed to live like.
yeah,
It's not, you know, and it's better than that. It's better than that because I get to feel the dirt. I get to feel the air. I get to breathe. I get to spend time with Carl the dog and look into his eyes and then go to his ear and tell him how kick-ass he is like 1,000 times a day and pick up his poop. You know, it's so awesome.
It's so epic, dude.
To be there, like to be there in that moment, 100%, and having done a lot of the work, so I don't have to be somewhere else and just like, oh God, I got him. All right, go away, dog. No, it's more like I'm here.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's like, and I get to be here with you.
Yeah.
You know, this is awesome. You get all of me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. There's no me outside in the world cruising around in my head. You know, and I think that's why this has been the best year, because it's just a recalibration. You know.
Recalibration.
Yeah, I think for a massive amount of people, it's a recalibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the, for the better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, our seeming nightmare, you know, I mean, I lost family members this year. It's like, it's not cool, you know, but I can see beyond what death is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the G cup.
Yeah.
You know, is it what I think it is, or is it my nightmare of what movies and storytellers have told me it is? You know, what do I believe?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were telling me the truth. So death, is it real? Does it even exist? Were we even freaking born in the first place? It's something my mom says. If you were, you could never die if you were never born, you know. And when you're living in your head through your filter and contemplating all that, it's like we don't even really exist, but we get to pretend and have a great old time with it and have so much fun being 100% there for the people you care about and
Yeah.
yourself, you know?
Wow. Yeah, the most, I mean, I think one of the coolest things you could do for someone else is give them your time, all of your time, with all of you attached to it,
Yeah,
you know?
just simple.
Yeah.
I got to do that with a homeless dude yesterday in Ojai. He was sitting there and he was like an old miner looking guy. And
Hmm.
I go, hey, do you want to hang out with my dog Carl while I go in the store? He's like, yeah. I left him, out there, and they just hung out and had a great old time. And then, it's
Whoa.
just simple stuff like that. Like the
Yeah.
voice would normally go, oh, you can't leave your most precious being, child, dog with a stranger, even worse than that, a homeless person. Rah.
Totally.
All of those nightmare stories aren't happening,
Yeah.
and I can be authentic and real and there
Yeah.
without fear. Yeah.
And that's also a big one. Doing that without fear is tough,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, if it feels correct and I'm not overthinking it, which is like a riff or a part or a beat, or just like you get this feeling of like, and then, all right, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then the overthinking, no, it could be, in your head, and you
Yeah.
start, and then that essence gets lost. It's like, oh, where'd it go?
Yeah. You taught me that. Yeah. You taught me, like, we were working on a riff, and on two separate occasions. One, we started laughing. Another one was a rip happened, and then we started talking like openly about like something like a little bit deep, and then you're like, when a rip opens you up, don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
And ever since then, we're still doing the work. I'm like, oh yeah, if you get that feeling, or you start talking with other people, or it opens you up, and you're like, oh yeah, it's done. Stop it.
Stop.
Yeah, yeah. You've definitely taught me that. I'm still learning to, like. It's so weird that your brain, like, just wants to come in and fucking start moving everything around, damn near all the time.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
when you're playing, like, your brain's trying to say, no, don't do this, do that. When I'm just trying, most of the time, I'm trying to shut this off so it could just get out of my own way.
Yeah.
And which things that you'll say that will apply to other areas as well. It's like, I'm like, fucking Ross, man. Shit.
Awesome.
Shit. I'm fucked
so
forever.
cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, dude. It's
Fuck trusting the unknown. That smile, like, that breath, like, oh, man, I gotta trust that. Oh, man.
you gotta trust it. And it's hard to trust that.
Of course.
I found.
Because you might not look good.
Fuck.
Ego.
And it's tied with ego.
100%. All the changing and like losing that breathless thing is ego based. Like, boy, do we look good
Oh.
and normal.
It's funny. Yeah, you want to change it because you want to look cool. That's dead on.
Yeah.
I think
Get
about
the
that
old
too.
pat on the back. Oh, good job.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've been very guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Our last record was like that. It's like, oh, you want to do stuff to, like, kind of look cool. It's like, oh man, it's so weird. Just comes in every time, dude, and it's so hard to shut it down. You know. And then when you're conscious of it, it's frustrating because I get frustrated for other bands or younger bands. Like, if I'm conscious of it, and I had, I'm lucky to have, like, you as like a friend that could kind of help me with these kind of stuff. If I'm conscious of it and I struggle with it, man, other people that aren't are fucked. And that really bumps me out. I'm like, man, if you don't have, like, kind of like that mental work where, like, all right, I need to shut this off so to let the thing come out or not change it because it's rooted, in ego, or you always want to change stuff. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I wish I could just tell everybody.
I know.
I was like, stop it.
Yeah. That's what I love about hardcore and punk rock stuff. Is like they just
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
They just rip.
It's rip.
The good ones anyway.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Yeah. And trying to have that at least like with the punk rock stuff, like at least have like the attitude and the energy. Like you can infuse that pretty much in any genre of music. I feel like.
Of course.
I mean, you put it just that pure honesty.
Yeah.
And it's infuse it. Especially, I wish it would be more in metal stuff. But what was it? What was it like working with Paul Gray?
Yeah. Just the dude. He was. I think I was closest to him and Joey, and
Yeah.
Just pure love. The dude was the genius. You know, he was the main riff writer, and that unique thing. Like a riff would come out of him because he's left-handed. It was just something different and bizarre and like quirky. Like there was a quirk that was only unique to him. And oh my God, just so willing, the nicest dude I've ever met, sweet, heartfelt, loving. A couple weeks before he died, he called me up, and I was driving on Washington Boulevard by Taco Bell Thai, up in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm driving on, and I told him where I was for some reason. He goes, oh, my grandmother that raised me just died, and that's where she lived when I was a kid. I'm like, dude, she's right now telling you that she loves you. He's like, he started sobbing on the phone. He's like, yes. Because it's impossible for you to call and me not know and give you my location. And, oh my God, he was just like, oh. And then he goes, I'm having a baby.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh my God, you know, and that was our relationship. It was all about love and support, and I did an Instagram post about, you know, anyway, somebody asked, what story do you have that nobody knows? And his mom, I guess she was using, and single mom, and just dropped him off in Daggett, which is like 5 miles out of Barstow. And we were living so close together in the desert when I must have been in junior high or something, and he was like in elementary school, kid by himself, all alone in some like ratty desert house. I know right where it is. He showed it to me.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, that area. My family, we had like a bar out in this town called Yermo, and it was Yermo and Daggett were like the same people, and it's all like hardcore, like hidden desert people, like welfare, and it's brutal out there and hot.
Sounds brutal.
Hot. It's the heat. Like he was just a little kid, like hungry. Some stranger, probably some dealer or something, and I'm just like, oh my God. When he told me that story, I think I gave him this big giant hug, and we were just desert brothers forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, God, I wish I would have known. I would have rescued you. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Just so real and so sweet. And then right after the baby announcement, he died.
Yeah, it happened right after, huh?
Mm.
It was so sad, man.
Yeah. And it's that thing, the filter, confusion, fame, stuff happening for you, seemingly for you. And it's just like all of a sudden, I heard this thing. Like, if you look at your friends around you that you have right now, you're looking at your future.
Yeah.
And his future wasn't too pretty when they were on the road,
Yeah.
They were rough people. And that's not who he was,
Yeah.
It's just addiction it's something else. But if you were never born, did you ever die? And his essence is real, and it's alive. You press play, it comes through, and he's completely there.
Yeah.
100%. Forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's living, it's inspiring, it's loving, it's giving, it's creative, it's pulsing, it's got a heartbeat, it's beautiful, it's ugly, it's imperfect, it's perfect. Like all of it,
Man.
all of it, all of it. And it'll drop you to your fucking knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. We captured it. All the way,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. When they were at his funeral, I was like, they were done speaking and they started lowering his casket, and I started clapping and applause for how beautiful he was, and everybody started clapping too. I remember Clown turning around and looking at me like I was a fucking freak.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Wow.
The boy was beautiful. Yeah.
He seems like such a special guy, man.
Yeah. He's my brother.
One in a million, if not more.
More.
Yeah.
One in one.
One in one.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you had lost a 1-in-1 in your band. That's never to be repeated.
Never again. It sucks that you don't like realize that until like it's over. It's like
Which is okay.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to put that head trip on anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah.
You're a god. People will worship you and copy you. No.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's too much for a kid to handle.
Special people, man.
Yeah.
You're right. The one-on-ones.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
You're a 1-in-1.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, and you respect it too.
I appreciate
it's awesome. I do too.
that. Oh man. You said something during we were doing the record together, and kind of one of those things where like you're really good at addressing like the elephants in the room, and you were normal morning you're having your woo-woo salad,
Yeah.
and drinking your Pete's coffee, and then you said you don't want to be remembered by the band that had their singer that died. And that's something that I wanted someone to tell me, but no one's ever told me. And you're the only person to this day actually that's said that to our faces. You don't want to be remembered as that band. And
No, yeah.
because I don't, and it's just one of those things like you just wish people would just tell you, like especially producers, like especially you're writing music, like man, you don't want to. It's not over, and so
It starts right now. Here. The past is gone. Doesn't exist. It's over. We're here.
Yeah.
Now. And now. And now.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of the podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did that? I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say you don't care, but how do you just get that filter, or you don't have you just say it. You know, like you just not thinking about it. You're just like, this is what it is, and I just got to say it.
I don't know, man. Stuff comes out of my mouth, and
That's true too.
I have no
True,
idea what I'm gonna say. I don't prepare anything at all.
That's the
It's
best way to
just
do it.
whatever's gonna happen in that moment, and
Mm-hmm.
just try to be there for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that's kind of how you do it. Like you can't really like prepare to say stuff like that. It just has to come out
Yeah.
on all levels, right?
Yeah. Too much preparation just gets, it puts everything that you know into play to get it perfect.
Oh wow.
And what I know is so limited
Yeah.
and minuscule. What we don't know is infinite.
What we don't know is infinite.
What we know is totally limited. It's
true.
not even worth mentioning.
That is very true. I was hanging out with Cece, and a few days ago here, and I was having like a mild panic attack because I was doing a experiment. Basically, what you just said, I wanted to let go of this conversation because obviously I'm gonna do a podcast with. I mean, I told you like you. Besides my parents, like you and James are like my favorite humans on the planet. You two are like why. You and James are like why I am who I am.
Oh man.
So naturally, like it's like, oh, I can't. First of all, I can't believe like Ross is coming over and he's giving me a shot and he's doing this. And obviously, as like what I'm doing, what we're doing, you need to be paired, have questions ready because you don't want it like a low.
Yeah.
With you, I said, fuck it, I'm not gonna ask any questions. And this wave of panic did not stop until today. It was like,
good.
It's great. I mean,
Right on.
because I knew like, well, I didn't know, but I was like, I gotta just let that thing happen. That's gonna be the best conversation. And like I was freaking out, man. Like that's just like the way how like your brain just reacts to like not just wanting things to be a certain way.
Yep.
I had no questions ready. I was like, I know I'm like, just sit down and have a conversation, and like, that caused a panic attack, dude. I was like, what are you doing, dude? You're gonna ruin it. You're gonna ruin everything. You're fucking stupid. And sure enough, as like the moment unfolds and you go into the unknown, it was actually beautiful.
Yeah.
And perfect.
We just wrote a song together.
Oh fuck. Dude, I look back on them again doing like the record together when we were working on that first song. One again, we go to feelings, not memories. Are kind of baited, but there is feelings. And the first song we were working on together, obviously it's the first time we're working with you, and you go into Eddie. It was like, oh, what's going on? We never experienced that before. And then you told Alex to fucking hit the drumsticks, bah, bah, bah. And then right when we went into it, happened to be like a song with like a blast beat in the intro. And that wave of chills came in with you had the headphones on. You're in this teeny room, and Ross Robinson's right by me. One of my favorite dudes in the world. My hero is in the same room. And as you explained earlier, like the wave of chills, and like, oh, this is what they fucking did.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I get it because I don't get it honestly because
Good.
Exactly. But I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
It was so amazing to have that experience and to look back and have that experience is there's no price tag. The price tag on the few moments, we've had talking and, me just trying to be cool in front of Ross Robinson. Man, I just want him to think I'm cool. Fuck, I just want him to like me so fucking bad.
That's so funny.
It's funny, man. But that's how it was. We have our masks, and those moments, dude, I still cherish today.
Yeah.
And I'm applying in my life now more than ever.
Oh God.
Writing riffs now, and we're about to get in the room together very very soon with the guys, and that toolbox like you gave us. I cannot wait to finally bust it open because the last record was like we really didn't, and
That's cool.
I'm
Like
looking forward to
just
just
think
doing it.
of, both of those as transition periods.
Yeah,
It's just transition and growing and evolving and,
yeah.
finding what you don't know.
You want to find what you don't know.
Yeah.
Damn. That's one. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no mistakes ever.
Yeah.
Ever. All of us want to, be loved and have massive success and all this bullshit. And,
Yeah.
the thing about it, it's like buying that Doge coin.
Yeah.
I saw Alex posted something like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's invested.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're. I
Yeah.
think they're kind of deep in it right now. Yeah.
And as soon as Elon Musk toys with the public and says, "Oh, something about that," it goes woof, and then all of a sudden, you have something to lose.
Huh.
It's the same thing with a band blowing up too soon. It's like all of a sudden, whoop, you have
Yeah.
something to lose, and it's all a dream. It's fake digital money, fake digital love, and thinking that means anything at all whatsoever. It's, yeah, of course, it's great to have like luxuries like a car and to be able to put gas in it and eat without looking at the price tag as like, oh my God, it's like heaven on earth. But if you didn't have those things, you would still get to where you need to go. You would still not starve to death. And you would probably have a more rich experience of life, because you'll appreciate everything more. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying success is bad, but, the the road and the process is the gold, not the not the result. The result is complete total fantasy bullshit, no matter what it looks like, good or bad. It's not real. So, like what we've been talking about is the process, and we didn't get the result that society says is good, but we got something better because we wouldn't have learned anything.
Yeah.
None of us had it gone our way. It would have been easy street, happy days, and the challenge of now what? How am I going to hold on to this?
Yeah.
It turns into a total nightmare, and egos and,
Yeah.
drug and alcoholism and insanity or whatever it is for people, So, yeah, I say like the process is everything. It's the thing that, say I listen to a record that I recorded at any time period and I get to feel and see those people and where my life was at that time. I don't remember the years of my life or how old of anything,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
do remember time and space through the art and the records and the grit that happened during those times. That's my bank account, is those experiences and those feelings and those lessons and those failures and those wins, and like that's where the worth is the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The process, and it seems like the failures mean more than the successes.
Well, you can't fail if you love the process and you give everything and you're absolutely authentic. it can't fail, like for you.
Yeah.
Like you gain everything. You
Hmm.
gain so much more. Now your weapon is sharpened into creating. You go through a fearless zone.
Yeah.
You sharpen the fuck out of your weapon, and it wasn't pretty. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you know, you go out and create something that's just gonna smoke.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's the way it is. That's
Man.
everything, man.
One last question, and then we can head out. This actually ties into what you were just saying, which is perfect. Was there a time where when did the shift happen where like, okay, like things are different now, like I'm successful and the band I'm about to record is now successful, or when was that, and how'd you deal with it, and did you fall on your face and have to recover, and then how did you recover?
Well, my manager at the time would call me up and go, "Hey, buddy, I got a check for you." I'm like, "Okay, cool." It was like some insane amount of money. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
he goes, "Are you happy, buddy?" And I'm like, I, yeah. Because I was working. I was like in Malibu. Like,
Yeah.
just, it's so intense and burly. Dealing with an engineer that was late every day, and then bands that hate being up there, and
Yeah.
but the music is sick.
Yeah.
and so it was like a world of it was fucking tough. It was so hard. Like every record, it was so excruciatingly painful because like I tried so hard, and I would just feel so exhausted. Like I don't ever want to do this again. And then you go, "Are you happy, buddy?" for the result, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I guess, yeah."
Huh.
What's going on? What's wrong? Like nothing. That's awesome. And I would put on a show of happiness. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my world was not related to the result.
Yeah.
And then where I think I had to deal with it was getting into racing dirt bikes, in my early 30s and through my 30s and in mid to mid 40s, and I wanted to be like a pro, local level vet pro, which is plus 30, before I turned 40. And and before
Whoa.
that I raced as a kid.
Yeah.
Before I started playing guitar, my mom pulled me off the bikes from getting hurt, and then I just grabbed a guitar, and that was what created us being together. And so I got back into dirt bikes after the Cure record, like way hard. Like I had a live-in mechanic. I had 2 practice bikes. Suzuki was giving me a bike. One year they
Whoa.
gave me 2, and I would get free race gas, like 55-gallon barrel, because I was this producer guy,
Oh,
and I would
fuck. That's
my
bad news.
my mechanic would, like we'd take 2 practice bikes in case one of them broke down to the track, like every day in between records, and I just made records broken all the time. I was always on crutches, and I broke 27 bones, during that last stint, and I think it was just, after the Cure thing, I was like, now what? It was just dead inside of me. I was just like, fuck.
What?
Yeah, like, now what? Because everything went my way. Everything.
Yeah.
The most beautiful girlfriend, the most kick-ass house, on the beach, dirt bikes. Go to New York. I invested in a nightclub, models, rah, hotel rooms, rah. You know,
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
walk in and everybody, hey. That was my social life in New York, and it was just like, fuck you, woo! and 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 it was cool to experience it, but it wasn't where it all started. And that where it all started and what created this life was having my head on the floor in humility, asking for help, you know, or praying for the dudes not to die.
Yeah.
You know, that is the core of what you hear in the really good records that I did. You know, it's that,
Yeah.
which is selfless giving and creation. You know, and being there to hold the space that allows the unthinkable to happen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Not the nightclub in New York.
No.
Not the models, not the hotels, not the, you know, business class, first class flights, not the, you know, big old pats on the back, not the love from the record companies, not the,
Yeah.
you know, oh man, they really want you to do this, and this year, so blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool if you don't believe in it. You know, I think a dude like Robert Smith is a hero for me in that area. In that
Yeah.
he is legally blind.
Whoa.
Yeah, you've never seen him with glasses on. He wears these sunglasses sometimes, like Ray-Bans,
Yeah.
and those are prescription. But all the time, most of the time, airports, everything, he can't see people looking at him. So he's free.
Oh. Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
there is no world going, there's Robert. You know, and he's lived that authenticity of being him without having to hide. So
Whoa.
that the lipstick and the hair is actually authentic. It's badass and it's him. He can fucking rip it, dude.
That's so sick.
It's so badass. I'm like, oh my God. Hero.
Dude, what's it like when he shoots you an email or like when he hits you up? Do you still get like, oh my God, I just got
It was really bizarre. I was running just a little late to get to the Hollywood Bowl show, and
Yeah.
everybody's there just to see him, you know, and hear that thing that comes through him, and he sent me a text. Hey Ross, we're about to go on. Hurry up and get in here and go over here. I'll have somebody meet you and like, and I'll meet you. And I'm just like, if anybody knew that,
Dude.
like right 5 minutes before he walked on stage, and it was just so surreal because I lived on Highland in Hollywood, right down from the Hollywood Bowl, and
Yeah.
I always wondered what it was like to go to a show at the Hollywood Bowl, you know, and in 85, like,
Whoa.
oh my God. And I go there and I'm in that moment of being 17 and just moving there, and I'm in the parking lot, and my favorite artist that ever existed in human history is sending me this message of love and hurry, and I want to see you, and like, words can't describe it, dude. It's just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Yeah. That's,
Man,
yeah.
that is bizarre. That's such a trip.
I know, right?
Yeah. And then you got to act like it's all cool.
Well,
how do you act when that happens?
Well, that's the thing where I made a huge deal with myself that, you know, whatever came out of my mouth during the process and all that, I had to be absolutely ruthless in my conviction and authenticity. You know, just say what I think.
Yeah.
You know, give him my opinions, and you know that's what he had me in there for, and drawing fire out of him, and
Yeah.
I didn't. I owed it to my love for my favorite band ever, and I owed it to to every Cure fan that's just dying to hear him rip. Just they want to get inside of his guts, his core, his soul, everything. They want to know more, and they want to feel him. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my
Wow.
God, I was ravenous for it, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Full
Yeah.
fucking tilt.
So
Sick.
it was terrifying when it was like, oh, it's not there. God damn it. And I'd go, all right, let's go through it. And he'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think he well, he told me that he loved that about me so much that nobody ever did it with him.
Yeah.
They're you know, he has to deal with that. You know, people don't give him that because it's him.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was good to be that person.
Wow.
Yeah. Tough.
That sounds tough.
Yeah. Scary. But excited.
Excited.
You know, like
yeah.
enthusiastic about jumping into the unknown.
Yeah. It's scary, but it's just gotta jump in.
Oh my God. I saw him kick the fire starter out of the studio.
Yeah.
He was in there, you know, that guy.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. He passed away.
Yep. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah. But he was in there talking about his drug cocktails and how this and that. And Robert came in all of his ruthless goth badassness and said, I don't like you here. You need to leave right now. And the fire starter was like 10 feet tall into like a microscopic sized person because the goth lord of all just fucking smoked him out of the studio for being... Yeah.
That's intense, man.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, I don't ever want to be that guy.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, so he knows the power of word, and so he is really sweet and light with everybody, and
Yeah.
not the fire starter that night though. It was
He just sounds very honest, like a very honest, humble guy.
and a Beavis.
And then Beavis, of course.
Yeah.
That seems to
Yeah.
be like the main ingredient
Yeah.
of a lot of stuff.
He's awesome.
That seems to be.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Well, let's end this one on a high note. That was great. Thanks, Ross, for making this drive down, man. It was awesome.
Dude, yeah. I'm just stoked to be here for you. Yeah, it's a good thing.
I'm truly honored, Ross. And I could publicly say that you're one of my favorite humans on the planet. If you've done so much for our genre that again keeps on giving and keeps inspiring new music and bands, and you have such a massive piece to that. And again, I'm a '90s new metal kid. That's just who I am. And I'm very proud to say that you truly help shape who I am and who I'm still becoming. And I'm very I'm honored that I actually call you a friend.
Yeah,
and,
same here.
And speaking about bizarre, so what reality is to me is so stretched and like, wow, like this is real life, man.
Yeah.
Blessed and very
I think
very
it
blessed
is.
to be here.
Maybe. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you got anything coming up that you want to share with the world, man?
Well, there were 2 releases this last year. Touche Amore.
Cool.
The album Lament. It's got the stuff, dude. It's got
Yeah?
the chills.
All right.
It's so good.
Check it out.
So badass. And Yeah, it was one of the good ones. One of the, oh my God.
Sick.
Fuck. And then Evans mixed it.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
yeah, he did a killer job too.
Nice.
And then Ghost Domain.
Dude.
Anti-Mother, yeah.
Dude, that.
Anti-Mother, no, that's Norma Jean. Icon.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Dude, what was that like? That's a sick fucking record, man.
Well, him and Arthur did all the writing and stuff and prepared it digitally, and then I came in for the sick
The sickness.
yeah, just to infuse it with some hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, and my gig was, it was so fun, like, to be there and see this true artist, like wow, he's so unlimited and
Yeah.
talented and sweet, authentic, just wow, what a fucking dude. And
So sick.
I feel like he's you know, if it wasn't for COVID, he'd be the new headliner, like taking shit over. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just completely blown away and honored to get to work on it and make new friends, you know.
Make new friends.
Yeah, yeah. But so there was Arthur, who he's a great producer, killer engineer,
Yeah.
and he lived with Eric for, you know, the whole time doing it, on
great.
top of what Eric did on his own. And
Nice.
yeah, there were some vocals, you know, there's some tracks that I didn't get to work on with him, and I was just flipping, dying. I wanted to dig in so hard on, but he was like, okay, this is really good. I'm happy with what happened here, and you know, I was in this certain place, and like he explained it all, and I'm like, okay, that sounds legit. And then I was just like,
Yeah.
we can go deeper.
There goes digging.
But it's perfect. You know, the stuff we got to work on was just really badass, and
It's great.
you know, yeah. And we recorded at this ghost town in between here and Mammoth, town called Lone Pine. There's a gold mine like half hour from it, and there's like a 20-minute drive up a dirt road to get to it. And of course I hold the record of speed of how fast to get up there. I made it in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Full tilt, wide open in the Raptor.
Oh, my God.
It's so cool. I have it all timed. I sent the owner my time, and he can't, no matter who goes up there, dirt bikes or anything, they can't beat it. I'm just like, yes.
Dude,
But,
full tilt.
yeah, we recorded in this bar that, you know, there was like people murdered in card games and like,
Whoa.
yeah, it was really cool, and it was fucking freezing, so cold. Like the wind was blowing, and we'd light up this big potbelly stove, and it would heat the room like this old cowboy, like wood floor. Everything's just like, you know, they had like cheap electrical, not in the walls. It was like outside the walls, like, and 2 months after we recorded, that bar burned down.
What?
It's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. It was so cool. I'm just like, God, I would love to have gone back up there and ripped, but
Oh, man.
yeah.
What are the chances of that burning down?
Yeah, after it was built in like, you know, the early 1900s, maybe 1800s.
Yeah.
You know, cowboy stuff. It's gnarly, and
That's intense.
yeah. So, and it was more authentic in its its preservation, like the curtains and everything was just raggedy cowboy because
Dope.
the dirt road was the barrier. Like not anybody would just go up there, so it
Yeah.
stayed jacked up, you know,
That's sick.
dirty and like God, it was awesome.
That sounds awesome. Now I got to revisit that record, knowing that backstory now.
Yeah, there's a really cool acoustic song that we did where Arthur played the acoustic, and I sat Eric like right in front of him, and the microphone, and then I don't think you can hear the wind blowing, but it was howling, and we went through the lyric and the story, and Arthur's like, I'm here for you, Eric. I love you so much. And Eric is like, I love you too.
Wow.
They just played this really simple, he played this really simple thing with his best friend like right in front of him. And, you know, it's got that thing, you know, it's really sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a story of his father passing away and him staying in Florida at the house where, you know, just a couple months earlier or a year ago earlier, there was like a family in a unit, and his mom was driving away with his little brother, I think, and him just watching him drive away and staying at the house empty with no furniture, alone. It's just like, oh, the agony.
Yeah.
This is gonna be good.
You're stoked. Yes.
I'm stoked to get real feelings and
Totally.
true love. You know, true love. Sometimes I think true love comes out when things aren't pretty. You know, when it's tough.
That's true.
Yeah, that's when it comes out. You know, it's like the ego falls away, and the only thing that's real is love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the high note.
That is the high
Woo!
note. Well, Ross, again, thank you for being here. Thank you. It's good to know that there's humans like you out there still putting out pure records and pushing like new artists. You know, it's great. Still doing it. So hopefully I want to have you back here with Steve Evans.
Do you want to have one with just him first?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah.
I want to
cool.
have one with just him, and then
we'll have the party. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe get Alex in here too.
Oh shit! So dude, I'm down for that. Holy fuck, that'd be sick. That's your idea. I'm down for that. Okay, Steve Evans and Alex.
Yep.
Man, that's some big gun shit right there.
I would say bring in everybody, but I know it gets a little out of hand.
Yeah. After like, I think I found like 3 guest tops, or like I could barely handle it. Fuck. But hey, let's go to the unknown, see what happens.
Yep.
You know, I'll have my little panic attack, and I'll come here and have a great time.
Well, now you don't need to attack because it'll all guide its own way.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true. Well, Ross, again, thank you. Until next time. All right, everybody. Later.